This episode is made possible by New Masters Academy, the world's absolute #1 online art school in the entire galaxy. Click the link down below for a free 7-day trial. Thank you, New Masters Academy. Sorry, this was so messy.
I am deep in your mind. I am deep in your...
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Honey and Acid Podcast. We're your host. I'm Vincent, a background designer for the Hollywood animation industry.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and this is a podcast about all things art, business, and whatever we feel like.
Now today we're going to talk about why everyone is unhappy and why you shouldn't be.
But before we get into it, make sure to smash, jingle, touch, tickle all our bells and buttons.
You look so beautiful. Hey, why do you have a frown? Let's turn that frown upside down. I know the nights are getting longer and all of that stuff is getting colder.
Yes.
But no need to frown. The world's going to be just fine.
You look great.
You look great.
If anything, you look great.
If anything, you look great for the end of the world. Mm-hmm. All right, so we noticed almost every Friday. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but we're like fucking off every weekend. We're going to some new place every weekend, it seems like at this point. Mm-hmm. We have one more location to go to, and then maybe we'll take a break for a while, or maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. But every single Friday here in Los Angeles, California, home of beloved Gavin Newsom, everyone is leaving town on Friday. Everyone. Mm-hmm. So an interesting example is when we went to Topanga for our little small B&B, small tiny house B&B getaway, which you did the iPhone video on last Friday, I think. Everyone was headed outside of the city towards, I think I would say east, towards Nevada and Arizona by car. Mm-hmm. And we were the only people driving like to Malibu.
The opposite direction.
I swear, never in my time living in this godforsaken land has it been so easy to drive to Malibu. Never.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
Like normally from LA to Malibu, it takes at least 2 hours. Usually 2 hours 30 seconds. And so when we were...
Because everybody wants to go to the beach.
Yeah, on a weekend especially.
On the weekend, yeah.
So we were expecting, it'll probably take like at least 2 hours to get there, whatever, it is what it is.
Oh, dude, it took like an hour.
Yeah, and I was really
That was a
shocked.
reasonable hour. It could have been 2 hours if there were real traffic.
So I guess now we know if there was no traffic, you can get to Malibu in an hour.
Oh, yeah.
But the first time we noticed it was actually the week before when we went to Lake Arrowhead for the Cabin in the Woods video that I did. Mm-hmm. And we came back and we were like, oh my God. Actually, no. Going there and coming back, it was really awful. And we were like, why is it taking so goddamn long to go in this... Where is everyone going?
That's interesting. That direction, that the opposite way of the freeway, you can go to Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. That's basically how you get to Arrowhead. You have to go up there, then you have to... And then you can go to Vegas. Mm-hmm. You can go to Arizona. Mm-hmm. You can go to Santa Barbara. But who wants to go to Santa Barbara? It's basically LA. Yeah. Because,
So we were like, that's really... Because normally on the weekend, you do not, after 11 a.m., you do not want to go in the direction of Santa Monica, the beaches, downtown LA. You do not want to go there if you... unless you woke up at 8 a.m. and you left the house by 9 a.m., and then you beat the traffic, you beat the rush because everyone's a lazy bum and they want to sleep in on a Saturday, then you can probably get to the beach in maybe an hour. Right. But if you wake up a little towards noon, by the time you get on the freeway, it's going to take you like 2 hours to drive, not very far at all.
Good luck, dude.
But it's been really empty on the freeways on the weekends. And it's been very unusual for us because, as people who grew up here, because we're so used to planning our lives around the traffic.
So we're shocked when we get to a place much earlier than we expected.
Yeah, especially on the weekend. But then really frustrated to be stuck in traffic, going in the complete opposite direction to normally traffic it's usually very easy. Like, we were trying to get like to go to West Covina, and again, this is like towards driving east towards Arizona, towards Nevada, and we were in traffic for so long. We were just trying to get hot
good
pot.
meat.
Yeah,
because
food.
there's a good Tokyo place or something, or Tokyo import place.
Yeah,
in West Covina.
like the Asian supermarkets.
Yeah.
We were trying to drive towards the valley where like I grew up with all the Asian supermarkets, and we were just stuck in traffic for forever, and we were like, this is so annoying. I mean, this never happens. Where is everyone going? Why in this direction? And we realized, and this has been consecutive weekends now, that everyone's leaving LA on the weekends for some strange reason.
And it seems as though they're trying to come back in time for Monday or Tuesday or
because
something
we
like
would
that.
get stuck in traffic trying to come back from like Lake Arrowhead. It took forever just to come back. And we were like, what's going on? We just want to go home. This is not normal. And
What is it that the Californians who aren't brave enough to move out of California are just like LARPing? What if they lived in Las Vegas?
I think so. Because, I mean, when we are not here, when we were at Joshua Tree, when we were at Lake Arrowhead, when we're at any other place that is not here, but like close enough to LA, but like not LA, there's so many people. We're so shocked because we're like, this is not actually tourism vacation times. Everyone should have gone back to school. Like,
Yeah, this is a work town.
Yeah.
People come here far and wide. All of the creative people from around the world come to California, Los Angeles, to do stuff, to work. And all everyone's trying to do is get here, and all people like us who actually live here are trying to do is get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it seems like before, people in LA would come here to work really hard during the weekdays, and then on the weekends they might like go out and party or socialize with other, I don't know, Hollywood hopefuls or whatever.
Pre-pandemic, there was so much to do in this town.
Yeah, but now that there's absolutely nothing to do on the weekends, it seems like people are leaving.
Why is there nothing to do?
Because, well, I guess the mandates
Yes.
makes it very, very difficult to do things. So, like, we're going to go watch Tame Impala soon, and just the whole process of that, like, figuring out...
for Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Such a...
I was just kind of like...
Yeah. Even for vaccinated people, it's just like, we have to break... Like,
and just reading the
annoying.
rules. Just to be clear.
I just want to see a show, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But even so, like, with all the traffic, like, traffic has gotten worse in LA ever since things have gotten, at least trying to get back to normal, but
It's not like old, like pre-pandemic
yeah.
bad. So it seems as though lots of people who were here aren't here anymore.
Yeah. And if they are here, they're leaving on the weekends and coming back, and I'm just wondering, where is everyone going? And this also can't be just LA and just California. I'm assuming everything that we're seeing right now is everything that's happening in cities all over the country. Like, I'm wondering why. And clearly it just seems
Wait. Are people in New York just chilling at... what's next? New York, New Jersey? I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't know. We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I do think people are leaving the cities. At least if they live in the cities, they're leaving for the weekend or for whatever reason. And it seems like to me, people are escaping something. Some kind of like sadness or depression or whatever. It seems like people are really, really unhappy.
And is it just the employees, or how are people on the internet?
That's actually the main reason why I think this is. I see that independent creators, even on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, they're not immune to this. I've seen this happen last year too. I noticed in 2020, and I
It feels so much worse now, though.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
burnout.
But I've been seeing a lot of videos pop up of people talking about how they're dealing with burnout, how unmotivated they are.
Yeah, I saw this video. Some artist dude saying he's sorry for some shit, I forgot. But then he's like talking about how he had like suicidal thoughts and all this stuff, and I'm just like, Jesus fuck. Is it that dire in the internet community? People are like having just the worst time, it seems.
Yeah. I even saw this video by some like fashion YouTuber who was like, the title was something like, "Are we all in a funk?" or ...
Oh, you mean Phineas's girlfriend?
Yeah. I had no idea this was Phineas, basically Billie Eilish's brother's girlfriend. I just thought she was pretty, but she titled this video like, are we all in a funk or what, basically. And I thought this was curious, and then I saw so many other videos of other people coming out with videos similar to that, and I was like, the people seem to be really unhappy for some reason, and I wanted to talk about that because we're not. And I think we're in a really good time right now, and I want to understand why people are unhappy and maybe give some people some solutions on how to be happy.
Yes.
How to be happy.
How to not wallow in despair.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why do you think people are unhappy?
What do you mean? Why are people unhappy? Like in this, I feel like in most people's lives, unless you're over the age of like unless you live through Vietnam, this is some of the worst in the world. The government's becoming totalitarian. Like there's this virus going around, either killing people or making people go insane with loneliness and despair, and inflation's on the rise. You're like fucking like just the price of bread is going from $3 to fucking $5, $6, $7. Fucking like people are going crazy in the streets. Homelessness in this fucking state is going fucking rampant. And what else? Like it's all fucking falling apart.
Yeah. I basically think things are changing very, very quickly. Like you said, prices of bread are
the
rising
money
crazy.
in your bank account means less and less every fucking day. And your fucking wages, doesn't matter if you work at fucking Disney or Skydance or fucking DreamWorks, it doesn't matter. Every fucking day, your paycheck becomes more and more meaningless. And you have nothing. Like a lot of the people just don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, or like I was telling you the other day that I think that, most people aren't paying attention to. But most people aren't paying attention, period. But like most people aren't particularly interested in like economics, economy, politics,
boring.
news. All the adult boring stuff that I like to pay attention to. And so, but that's fine, like,
Fuck all of that shit, Squid Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep our heads down.
Exactly.
Yes.
Entertainment.
Yes, entertainment, yes.
But I was thinking there are certain things that even the normie average person can't ignore anymore. For example, when you go grocery shopping, you obviously notice from week to week that, things that your grocery cart costs more. A lot more, actually.
A lot more, dude. Yeah.
I was really shocked at the price of bread. Because I try to be cheap and I try to buy like the bimbo bread.
Yeah, cheap
like the
bimbo
cheap,
whole wheat.
Yeah.
With a funny little bear character going,
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm Bimbo."
And when I can't, I go to Vons and they have like $2 or $3 bread is like kind of like cheapest like store brand bread that you can get. And I always look at the like gluten-free keto bread, like other options to like be healthier, and then it's always like $6 or something, and I go like, God damn it.
Who's gonna buy that?
Yeah. And then like for healthy bread, and then I thought my eyes were deceiving me. I thought like the bread was like misplaced on the wrong section, or like someone took it and then like went like, never mind, and put it somewhere random. But then I had to double check the tag because it said like $5 or $6 like the next week, and I was like, no, that can't be right. And then I looked at the brand and everything, and I was like, no, the bread is literally, the cheap bread is now the price of the organic fancy bread. And I was like, oh my God, this is not okay. And I think what most people are feeling, if you're normal, you don't pay attention to anything. You just, I don't know, live life. Living life has gotten harder.
Mm-hmm.
Eating has gotten harder. Doing anything in like putting gas in your car to go to work or anywhere to go anywhere has gotten a lot more anyone who pays any kind of bills should have noticed how much their wallet hurts a little bit more now. And all of like everything is just a lot more difficult. All of this, I think, is causing a lot of problems in the labor market. Basically, no matter what industry you work in, even if you're trying to make it on YouTube, or you're trying to become an independent artist in some way, but your day job is whatever it is, you probably feel like you're not getting paid enough anymore, even though you're getting paid the same amount that you were paid, I don't know, 2 years ago, 2019, pre-pandemic. And that is causing a lot of people to want to strike for good reason, because like literally your money isn't worth as much anymore and you want to get paid more, except like how? Like we're all in this bad times together, and you can blame it on whatever you want. The reality is we're here. So I think people are having a hard time adjusting. Not that they are registering it yet. My hypothesis was that people know it's bad subconsciously, but they don't, and they feel it a little bit, but they aren't going to do anything yet.
So let's say you work on a streaming TV show, and what was your old wage back in DreamWorks back in the day?
It's hard to remember now, but I think it was like $1,500 a week.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's still the same.
Yeah.
And I think like with the way inflation is going, your job, I don't care how like fancy and how highly regarded you think it is, that's in a few years, I don't know, I think you're gonna have to figure out something else to do.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
Exactly. In my opinion, it was already low, like lower than what I was expecting, because I had freelanced and worked at other companies before as a storyboard artist, and then I was dreaming of this animation job, and I was like, oh, this is so great, all the prestige, all the stuff. And then when I got paid, I think it was $1,500 a week. I was like, for the amount of effort that I put in just to get this job, and the amount of schooling I had to go through just to get this job.
I mean, $1,500 and then after tax, that's just
it's nothing. It's like barely $1,000.
Yeah.
For all the it's a very competitive, specialized job. You would think it would be, especially in Hollywood, where like you should be getting paid a lot, like similar to like tech or whatever. I was just kind of like,
I'm getting paid diddly squat here.
Yeah.
So who are the lucky few who are actually happy?
Well, I was on Twitter, like you do, and I saw Scott Adams tweeted this really fascinating thing. He asked his, I think at this point, 700K followers on Twitter, what did you do with all the free time that you gained during the pandemic? And I was really curious about, this is a really big sample size.
Yeah.
700K people. What did everyone do with all their free time? And I go into what's it called? The mentions? The comments section? I don't know. I don't know how to use Twitter. And there's all these people saying, like, oh, I lost a lot of weight, or I finally got to do the thing I always wanted to do. I got really good at, I picked up an instrument, I fixed the house up, I sold my house, I started investing in real estate, I learned all these things.
Someone actually said that? They invested in real estate?
Yeah.
Man.
They always wanted to invest in real estate, and then they started investing. So, or I started a garden, or I always wanted to do this. And I was really kind of like inspired, and these people seem very happy with their accomplishments, and just like just have accomplished so much in a very short amount of time. And I think those are the people who are happy. I think they have really taken advantage of a bad situation and really made the most out of it and come out better than they were before. Whereas there were some people, though, in the comments saying, like, in a really bitter kind of way, I didn't have any free time. I was in construction. I worked. Life hasn't changed much for me since then. And they just seemed really kind of jealous about it and kind of angry. Like,
but these are the people who kept their jobs, though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's crazy.
Like, you would think they would feel happier that they kept working this whole time, because that's the assumption, right? That if you had lost your job or things didn't change, if you lost your job and things changed a lot for you, oh, that's so sad, that's so scary, like whatever. But like, these are the people that are really happy. And then the people who kept their jobs, you would think that, oh, they're so lucky, they're so fortunate, but they are the ones who are the most unhappy, because they see, in a way, there were some people who felt that they were the ones that are like the unsung heroes, like while everyone else was like bumming it and they kept working or whatever.
Okay.
But whatever. I was just kind of like, but I don't know, that doesn't make sense why you guys are so unhappy. You kept food on the table. And I wonder if it really is a blessing in disguise that when something bad happens to you, you can either wallow in it, or it's actually a really, really great opportunity to make the most out of it. And a lot of people did. And, with the changing of the times, a lot of benefits came from it. So like, if you get laid off, you can find another better job. It doesn't have to mean, oh, I have to I don't know, bag groceries at the grocery. You can find a better situation. Maybe that job you lost wasn't actually all that great, and you can find a better one. Or now you have to work remotely. Things are changing. That's kind of scary. But now you can work from anywhere. You don't ever have to. It doesn't seem like you have to go back to work anymore.
It doesn't seem unless you work at Disney. Sucks to be you. Like, my God, I just feel like the overall attitude I get from every other studio that's not Disney is like, woo, thank God. We don't have to pay IT. We don't have to pay for these fucking billings for these goddamn artists. This is so great. The artists have their own computers. We're going to buy computers for these assholes. I feel like every studio is celebrating. Except for Disney.
Strange, isn't it?
Disney forced their employees to go back to work. I just feel bad for all of you. I would never for $1 million trade my life with yours.
It's something that I have thought is really, really...
It's really disturbing.
Strange.
It's really strange. Yeah. I don't know why they made all you foos do that. That's really... I have my own conspiracy theories involving government and politics. Yeah. Which is, come on, if you work at Disney, you're working for the state. Basically,
yeah. Gavin Newsom, basically. And I don't understand why, because we went, you bought a mixer recently.
Yes, I bought a mixer. So it's just like a simple 16-channel mixer. That was interesting because I didn't know that people in broadcast and TV actually use the same type of mixer that most people in music use to mix stuff. So I found this I bought it for $130 for a song. This mixer that this studio in Burbank was using just for broadcast. But because everyone's downsizing and working from home, they're all using that one dial kind of audio interface the fancy thing. And I guess every person who works in audio just uses that instead of a 16-channel big mixer. And so they had, the guy said I don't know, 200 300 of these things lying around. So they're trying to liquidate all of them. But the craziest part was when we went inside this studio in Burbank, they took us to this room where the guy was like, you see this computer? this computer manages all of our employees.
It's like a storage data thing.
Yeah. And
server thing.
And all of their employees are working remotely. All of them. And they're all being funneled through this like main computer that like the IT people, I guess, like monitor and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it was insane. But it was funny that like a few moments after, I was just like, I was thinking like, wow, this is the future. People are really preparing for this shit. And then I immediately thought of like, a few blocks away, there's Disney. Those fucking idiots are still working from the office.
Yeah. Like there's so much incentive as a business to have, now that you've figured out everyone can work remotely from home, you don't need to pay for a building, you don't have to pay for the computer rentals, you don't have to pay for anything.
It's really asinine. It's really asinine. And like I just don't see it making sense from any business perspective.
I have been listening to Dear Reader, the unauthorized biography of Kim Jong-il as told to Michael Malice. It is a 100% true biography of Kim Jong-il, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. If you would like to listen to this amazing biography of the mythical creature, head over to audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe Podcast to get your free Audible trial subscription. You will get one free audiobook completely free. You don't have to return it. That's audibletrial.com/the Honey and Absinthe Podcast.
But Janet, let's get a little conspiratorial. Why do you think Disney is forcing their employees to go back to work?
Well, at first I think it had something to do with politics, because at the same time, like, a lot of things are happening here in LA, in California, with Gavin Newsom and everything. Gavin Newsom, without anyone voting for it. And when I saw this, I was like, this is my tax dollars at work.
Yep.
But this probably has always happened since before I was born.
Yep.
But Gavin Newsom, right before his recall election, he signed this thing where he was going to give, I think, like $300,000 or like $500,000 or something to Hollywood for funding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, look at that. Look at my fucking tax dollars. I'm so upset.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom gave Hollywood $300 million.
Yes.
2 months before his recall election,
Yes.
and that's how I fucking knew this guy would fucking stay.
Yeah.
Because like, if this is happening to entertainment, this is happening to big tech, and this is happening to the education system. 100%.
And literally, no one was.
Also, the guild canvases for Gavin Newsom. Our fucking guild canvases to Gavin Newsom. I'm having a hard time paying my guild dues because I'm fucking paying the state, basically. Like, what the fuck?
You're paying for a political party.
Yes,
you may or may not.
I'm paying for a political party I don't fucking support. And like, I have a gun to my head because I will be fired if I don't pay this fucking guild that does nothing. They do nothing. And guess what? We were right. They are not going to fucking strike because they're cowards.
Yes.
And they don't give a flying f***. They'd rather fucking walk out for some other political issue than... No, they wouldn't even do that. Wait. I can't even say that because I heard that a lot of the people doing the Netflix protests last week weren't even Netflix employees.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, typical. Of course. If the fucking artists wouldn't even stage a walkout for their own goddamn selves, why would they stage a walkout for any fucking political reason?
Yeah.
Why?
And of course, it was at the Sunset Building and not the...
Of course.
The
It's all for show. It's bullshit. It's all for show.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it just frustrates me to no fucking end.
But that timing though was so interesting because like when Gavin Newsom gave Hollywood a boatload of money, but like, you know, people like you who are working lower, the laborers,
the lamo laborer,
you're not gonna see a dime of that.
No,
of course not. But like at that time, it was a little bit early, so like no one was really doing anything about the recalls yet. No one was like doing any promotion, nothing. The minute that happens, everyone in Hollywood starts canvassing for this guy. You start hearing celebrities talking about how you need to vote for him.
I get fucking like guild notices. I see like tons of promotion from people on Instagram, all these artists, big name artists who work for these goddamn fucking companies going like, we need, like, I know everyone's upset with Gavin Newsom, but we shouldn't vote him out.
Yeah, like,
and then like like fast forward like 2 months later, this whole fucking city is falling apart.
Yeah.
This whole city is falling apart. It's amazing.
But like I can't wrap my head around Hollywood types who aren't from here, because like they don't understand that like if Larry Elder became governor, he would have been the first black governor of California.
You would have got school choice. You could have sent your kids to anywhere. To anywhere.
And so many things.
Yeah, I think the like school, the school, what is it? The school, what is not the school, not guild, school unions.
Oh,
all of them.
They're very happy.
Yeah,
they're very happy that he won.
Oh my god.
And
now, what is that reasoning, and why do they not want to promote school choice? It's some sort of selfish.
Oh, every student that shows up, the school gets paid a certain, like they get funded for attendance.
It's all corrupt.
Yeah.
Schools, the fucking entertainment industry, and like big tech. It's all here.
Yeah. But at the same time, they're like, I think it was the LA Times that called Larry Elder the black face of white supremacy, and I was like, how can you be more racist?
And like, you didn't even have to like vote for Larry. Like there were so many good options.
Yeah,
literally anyone. Meet Kevin. Like literally anyone. But you fuckers didn't know, did you? Did you?
That it wasn't just like, maybe people just don't like Gavin Newsom, like Hitler and hair gel. Gavin Newsom. Maybe people just don't like couldn't fathom that it's not just like Trump supporters that don't. It's like it's a lot
normal
of
people who own businesses and stuff.
Like, have you seen the picture of Gavin Newsom and his wife laying on that rug?
You fucking voted for that guy. You fucking voted for this fucking asshole.
He represents this person.
And you fucking screaming about privilege and the haves and the have-nots. You voted for this like, that's fucking you right now.
Clearly represents the hardworking laborers.
Oh, clearly. Totally. He calluses all over his fingers.
Yes,
totally.
lays
on his rug. Yeah.
Eating at the French Laundry. Ooh. But yeah, I was just like, ooh, just say what you mean.
But no, though, like the people in Los Angeles and California, they deserve each other, though.
Yes.
Gavin Newsom and the people of California.
Yes.
They deserve each other.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yes.
Like, I talked to one of my friends a while ago, and I was kind of shocked at her response to my frustrations with unions in general. I was talking about how you know how unions are supposed to be for the people. They're supposed to
for the proletariat.
Yeah, they're
theoretically.
It's collective bargaining. Like the reason why we pay for all this stuff is so that we can be powerful as a group, and you're supposed to represent the workers. And she was like, oh, Janet, it's not about that at all. It's about politics. And I was like, I really could not understand if she actually believes that unions are basically just an arm of politics, or if she understood like that's reality though. She said it so like a matter of factly that I wasn't sure if it was one or the other. And I was like, okay, let's just pretend that unions actually were for the workers. Isn't that frustrating? But then she was very like, yeah, but they're not to represent workers. And I was like,
oh, so then.
I wasn't sure. Do you know, or do you just accept that?
So what are unions? They are mafias. We watched The Many Saints of Newark, and I was
the dental union.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, the union are fucking mafia fucks.
And this is
they're the worst.
And this is a friend who got a very expensive medical degree.
Right.
So she was griping about like the nursing union as well. And then,
I think everyone has a problem with their fucking union. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why? Why do we all work and live in California? I do not know.
I don't know.
Anyways, I think a lot of people who kept their jobs, like these construction workers, or the other thing about the Disney thing, other than the fact that at first I thought it was like a political move to help politics and whatever. Oh, everyone's going back to work.
Could be like maybe a flex to maybe encourage other companies to do the same, maybe.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Now I feel like it's maybe less to do with politics and more to do with like keeping their employees. Because of what I'm noticing, that when people who have kept their jobs, they felt like things have been normal. Things are going back to normal. Like, why should I change anything? Everything's just hunky-dory, just like 2019. And I think before I left, one of Disney's biggest goals at the time was to retain employees. They had a huge problem of Netflix poaching employees, DreamWorks poaching employees. All these, like the streaming wars was like just about to happen. Like Disney Plus was just about to come out, and like they really wanted to retain talent and all that stuff. And like I think as a company, that's really hard to do. Like when you have some really talented people who have many options to get paid.
How do you keep them all?
Yeah, how do you keep them all? You want to stay top dog forever. And I think that's what they were trying to do. That like, if you go back to normal, you will be happy. Everyone they were assuming everyone's unhappy, like having to work from home, all that. So they were like trying.
Do you think that people who aren't working from home, I mean, aren't in working in their office, are 10 times more happier? Do you think people are working from home are 10 times happier than the people working in the office?
I think so.
I think so. I just don't believe that any of the people in animation who aren't at Disney are having like a worser time than the people at Disney.
Yeah, because what I notice is like, again, this like weird jealousy, bitterness, anger towards each other. Because I feel like if you're just doing the same thing you've always been doing, you're looking at someone who maybe lost their job, but then they figured out like a better way. Like they're working they can go anywhere. They can literally just live in a tiny home in the middle of nowhere as long as it has internet, and just go like hop from state to state, pretend like they still live in California, and just work from anywhere. And they're like, as long as they get the work done, who cares? Like they could be having, like when we were in the tiny house in Topanga, we felt so relaxed and at peace. Like it felt like we were transported to not California. And I was like, to live like this, to be so zen. Like a lot of people pay really good money just for that feeling, and to be forced to go into work every single day instead of like the ability to work from that zen place, I think most people would trade one for the other. And I think that's why a lot of people where things stayed the same, they're kind of just stagnant. They're not happy compared to people who have kind of adapted and changed with the times. Another similarity, another thing that I think separates people who are happy and unhappy is I noticed a lot of people online who I follow or I keep up with, whatever, they have moved. And those are the people who are happy.
Let's list a few.
So most recently, I noticed that Shelby Church moved from LA to New York.
Michael Mouse moved from New York to Texas. Austin.
Joe Rogan moved from LA to Texas. Graham Stephan.
Moved from here to Las Vegas.
Yeah. And at first I was thinking a lot of these people are moving from a state with a lot of mandates to a state that is more free. But then I noticed with Shelby, she moved from LA to New York. But even so, it's that simple move made her really happy. It was a change of pace. And I thought like that's...
New change of scenery, something, anything.
That is a really big deal, I think. Because everyone who's moved always say that, like, oh, it was like, they're so happy.
No one regrets it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, maybe it's not so much, like, the place they're moving to, and more the fact that they've just moved. Because when you experience a bad thing in a place, you kind of associate that place with the bad thing. Mm-hmm. So I think most people who've stayed stagnant, who are forced to be where they've been the past 2 years since, like, the pandemic, I think they can't shake off the bad thing. And I think everyone who has decided to take their life into their own hands and moved somewhere to get, like, a fresh start, or just change of scenery, whatever, maybe they'll move back, who knows, they seem so much happier. It's like they can start new again. They can, like, move on past 2020, even though it's almost 2022. Like, they can finally move on a little bit. And I think that's, again, it's like the idea of, like, doing something new, of changing up your circumstances, taking your life into your own hands, taking back control a little bit,
and not just wallowing in the
yeah. So how do you become happy if you are unhappy in the situation?
Hard, because I'm not really that unhappy right now.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, when everything was going down with the pandemic, I just found something else to do. Mm-hmm. And it gave myself a bigger purpose than just the bullshit I do every day with art and drawing and all that stuff for work. Because it became work. Like, art and drawing, that's work now.
Yeah.
And I needed to, like, admit that to myself. That was number one. Because it was really hard for me to admit at first.
Yeah.
But as soon as I admit that, like, I do that for work and it's a job, and then I reframe my mind to go, like, oh, but this is what gives me life, this music thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right, then I'm okay and I'm happy, and I'm like, every single, like, almost like 80% of my thoughts are about music. They used to be about art and culture and anime and all that stuff, but now it's just like I just and it's just like it's given me focus and centers me and all that stuff. Makes me feel like I'm accomplished when I did something.
Yeah. Instead of, does it give you energy?
It does, but it takes energy away.
Yeah.
Because it's creativity.
Because when I was working, I had a really hard time doing that. But I really recommend that too.
Doing what?
Doing something after work.
Oh, yes. All you would do after work is just, like, be a potato. Like, I don't remember you doing much after work. I got
so, I guess, burnt out to the point where I felt so drained after a day's work that I didn't feel like I had the mental energy to do anything. But the thing is, that's all, now that I'm, like, over it and I've, like, gotten myself in a better situation, and I'm like, not even like 100, like, I'm 1,000 times better than where I was. Like, I'm so I don't think I can ever go back to a normal 9 to 5. But
that's what a lot of I wasn't there, like, a poll?
Yeah, I saw some poll somewhere that, like, most people who experience this life just can't go back because it's just so much better than working a normal employee job. But at the time when I was like that, I thought something was so wrong with me. And that maybe I just needed to take a break from doing way too much. Doing conventions and drawing, and just maybe I just need to, like, sleep and, like, rest when I come home. I don't know why, I never really needed that before, but, like, and it's not like I was doing strenuous work at work or whatever, but I just felt that way, and I feel like a lot of people do when they become burnt out. And it's like this never-ending cycle that you think that, like, I'm too tired to do anything, so you don't do anything, and then you go to work, you come home, maybe I can do something today, I'm too tired, and you don't do anything.
And then you get disgruntled because the thing that you actually want to do, but you can't because you don't have energy.
Yeah, but the secret is, even if you feel too tired to do it, you need to do it anyways. Because that thing that you're doing when you come home from work, even if you think it's so hard for you to drag your butt to do it, if you just do it, it'll give you some energy back. And if you keep trying to do it every single day, you will find that it will happen to you less and less and less.
The problem is I think that's probably right for every job that's not a creative job.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard for when you have a creative job to be creative outside of your job.
Yeah, I think it helps if you're doing another creative thing to do at least to have it kind of separate. What was the problem with me was I was drawing and then wanted to come home and draw more. Like that was a problem.
Yeah, that, dude.
I mean, it's still tiring for you because you're drawing and then you're playing music, but at least you have some separation.
Yeah, at least there's a separation. Right? I'm not staying in the same station.
Yeah.
After work.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And then I think after doing that, because you can only do something after work so much, and it can help only so much. I think the next thing that you need to do is to do something to improve yourself.
Oh, like exercise. Eating right.
Meditation.
Reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think all of that will help too. Because one of the things that went really wrong with me is because I felt so tired, I couldn't even get up in the morning, so we couldn't work out. And then it made things worse.
It's like a snowball thing.
Because all you can do at that point is to eat your feelings.
Yeah.
Which then it makes it worse, because then like you gain weight and then you have less energy, you feel lethargic, and it's just
Why do you think most people in animation have pictures that are like 2 years old?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the unhappiest people right now, you can tell by
just looking at them.
Just looking at them.
I remember I showed a picture in this podcast of you at Disney. You do not look happy.
No.
You don't look like this. She's so hot now. Look at her.
I mean, I look... I weigh less.
See her without all these clothes?
I'm healthier now.
So good.
And then...
I really like you. I really
like you too.
Thank you.
The next thing you should do probably is to leave. And
it's really hard for some people.
Yeah. I think if you have gone this whole pandemic with your job, you consider yourself lucky. I'm more talking about like leaving your job. I feel like particularly when you have a job, it is really, really, really difficult to decide to leave. And I thought that was really, really interesting for a different reason. When I was working early on, my first animation specific job was at DreamWorks, and I remember having this talk about loyalty. I forgot with who, but they were talking about how they didn't want to leave DreamWorks because they're loyal.
God, was that somebody who just barely got hired? Is this a green person? Oh my God.
But I've heard it from not green people too, surprisingly. And
who is that?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Wow.
I don't get it at all.
Wow.
And I was like, loyalty, I want to get paid.
Loyalty, I want to get paid.
Yeah.
You think they give a shit about loyalty when they're going to fucking lay you off? No.
2 seconds.
Do you think that your fucking superiors, the people you work for, have like that sort of like loyalty or allegiance to you?
No. They're gonna lay you off the minute, your show ends.
Yeah.
And they can't find you another job. Bye. Why?
Who are you again?
Yeah, like why should you be loyal to them if they're not loyal to you? And like loyalty works both directions, Yeah. And I remember thinking that's stupid. But then I was backed up by my belief that like that's stupid by like realizing, because I was really into personal finance at the time, multiple different financial experts, Dave Ramsey, I forgot this other lady that does this podcast, this HR podcast about like how to deal with your coworkers and your bosses, how to manage people or something like that. They were talking about how you probably shouldn't stay in your first job for more than a year. And I know this is like really backwards thinking to boomers out there, because back in like our parents' age, you can keep your job for like 10 years or something.
That's not the case.
That's not, yeah.
Anymore.
If you are in a job for more than a year, you're probably getting underpaid. Because like your next job, your second animation job should pay you like $300 more. And like that's the quickest way to get a raise and the quickest way to get a promotion, which like I used to recommend to when I was still working, that if anyone got in or you're like hoping to get in or whatever, you should always be looking for your next job, because not just for the benefit of like if you get laid off, what are you gonna do? You're like out of luck or something. But if you're constantly looking, you already have like options out there. You already have like networks and connection, whatever. But also like after your first job, you want to like see what other people are going to offer you for the exact same job. Like it's not like you're gonna be working more. Like you don't necessarily have to be looking for promotion. But then if they offer you a lot more than your current job, you can tell your current job, hey, I'm leaving because so-and-so is going to pay me a lot more. Like that's how much I'm worth now. And then your current job can either be like, okay, bye-bye, or we'll match you, or I'll pay you more, or whatever, to stay. And it's just benefits all around. And that's why I just felt very like this is the person telling me, oh, I want to stay loyal. Loyalty means, I'm like, no, these people are not loyal people. Okay, these people are awful human beings.
Fucking Alec Baldwin today.
Oh, yeah.
Alec Baldwin shot his director and cinematographer for the newest movie he was working on and killed the cinematographer with a blank. It's insane.
Accidentally.
It was
accidentally.
And I'm just like thinking like, oh man, in I would love to see Alec Baldwin hang for this shit. I would love to just see like Hollywood royalty, NBC and DreamWorks most like beloved employee. Oh, your boss baby. It'd be awesome just to see like just to see like, oh, Hollywood people can get punished. But they can't.
No, they can't. Yeah.
They won't.
They won't. I thought it was really fast. So like I was on Twitter early in the morning before we were about to work out, and I just was like, I don't really want to check Twitter today, but I did. And then there were like photos of the cinematographer going around, like rest in peace. And then I was like,
who is this?
And then I looked it up, and I was so shocked by the headline. I was like, oh my god. Like if you don't have anything to do with Hollywood, this is not normal. Okay, like this is very bizarre. This is not a thing that they're so strict on set.
Safety is so important.
Yeah,
because lawsuits.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's not because they give a shit about you, it's the lawsuits. Yeah. Like safety is so like if we were to do a indie production, right, and we didn't have the proper insurances, we would, if something bad were to happen, we could get sued into high heaven.
Yes.
Like we would get fucked so hard.
Yes.
So for this fucking asshole to just wave a fucking prop gun, I don't know, maybe in a fit of rage, who fucking knows, and like mock shoots his coworkers.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's
okay.
So bizarre, and that should never fucking happen.
Yeah. And especially as, you know, we don't have that much experience. Well, I mean, you have more experience handling guns than I do, but from the like our vlog about it, it's a serious deal to point even a prop at someone. Let's
don't
not
joke about that.
This is the one thing I think like people in LA are so kind of like ignorant about, and
clearly with Alec Baldwin, like clearly.
But like gun owners are really serious about that. Like they do not like it when you fool around with it. They treat it like they treat any kind of really, really scary, like, have you ever like seen people who like manage like wild animals?
Yeah, and I told you the last time I think in the Arizona episode we were talking about guns, that there was this guy from this art class that I was at, and he was a motorcycle driver, and he you know said he respects the vehicle, and I said like, oh, that's how I view guns. You have to.
Yeah, same with a tiger or something. You don't like go like, ha ha ha, you're like a big cat.
No, like, I respect you. You
Like,
could end me.
yeah.
You are the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
Just
right,
one,
mama?
one
Right, mama?
swipe of the paw, and you're done.
She's the queen of the jungle.
She's like, don't like.
Good girl.
And so, and it's not normal, but like he's not gonna get punished. Of course not. The way I was trying to look up details, and I went from article to article, and instead, like if it were anyone else, literally anyone else who's not in Hollywood, they would have all the gory details.
I get the sense that the fucking cops and the fucking media are fucking covering for this asshole.
Yeah. They're not talking about anything. They're just...
Everything's really hush-hush.
Yeah.
The details are murky. The fuck? It's the movie set.
Yeah.
What do you mean the fucking details are murky? This is a fucking movie. There's at least fucking like 30 people there.
The whole crew is there.
And if this was a fucking scene in the middle of takes, like there must be like 30 witnesses.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is this?
And like...
What did they tell them all to like be quiet and keep this shit hush-hush? What the fuck is this?
Instead, all the articles are like, oh, I forgot the cinematographer's name. She's Russian, so it's hard to pronounce. They were just like, oh, trying to remember her and like how she was such a respected person. And I'm like, when does the media do that? Like, for real, like when do they actually do the right thing and like remember the person?
No, never.
Never. So I was just kind of like, and then the I heard his wife on the same day, like that morning.
This made me so fucking mad, man.
Posted like video of like her with the kids, as if to say, think about our kids.
Think of the fucking children.
She was a mom. What about her kids?
What about her kids? What about her fucking family? What the fuck? Hollywood people are the fucking grossest pieces of shit. I tell you, like no one knows this better than me, who's fucking lived here all my fucking life. These fucking Hollywood fucks are the worst. They are the worst.
I was like, wow.
They can, now it's proven. They can get away with murder. They can fucking get away with more.
Not murder.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, the selfishness was appalling. I was like, to make things worse, I was like, you could have just not done that. How
Don't
about
do
that?
that.
Like,
that was 4 o'clock in the morning. You had that fucking bright idea to show your...
I could have just not said anything. Not put, like... I just was like, oh god, I can't. But like, at this point, the depravity of Hollywood can't shock me all that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's this scene in Mank. So the scene is the studio's having a bad time economically, and the studio head of MGM has to lay off like half the studio, and then Mank, I think, witnesses him go up in front of all the laborers, basically the artisans or whatever, and he spins it. He goes like, I'm laying you off, but hey, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that I'm laying you off because of X, Y, and Z. And he does a whole display, and I am with you, and he starts crying like, it's hard for me. We are family. Hollywood loves using the word family in the company.
Oh yeah.
They love calling you family to make you loyal.
Mm-hmm.
To make you feel things. And he starts crying like really convincingly, and then at the end of it, all the people who are getting laid off are basically like standing ovation, like clapping for him, and he walks off stage, immediately turns the waterworks off so it's fake, and then he's like, okay, done with that, what's next on the to-do list today? And like Mank's just watching all of this, and then he breaks the fourth wall, I think, and he goes like, this isn't even the worst I've seen in Hollywood. And then I was just like, what is Fincher trying to say here? Like, this is a little too real. This is a little too real for me right now. And it's so funny because the scene repeats in another scene where like his close friend dies. He goes to the funeral, same thing.
Oh yes,
he like cries, and he goes crying out the the door into the limousine or whatever, the car that he's taken, because he knows there's cameras out there. And as he drives off, you see his hand drop the tissue out the window, and you see that it's dry. And then I was just like, oh my god, these people are heartless. They're cruel and evil, disgusting human beings. David Fincher knows, Mank knew, and now we know.
Yeah. Should you be worried about money? Lots of people are worried about money. It seems as though with inflation, with people's jobs, with people's bank accounts just dwindling, becoming more and more nothing because everything's more expensive. Should people be worried about money?
Well, you first asked me this question because you were like, you thought that, like, I think the best case thing for people to do is to just, buckle down, save, and, try their best to survive this. And I was like, no, people should be very, worried about money. They should be trying to make more money. I mean, that's the case in normal times, but that should be the case now more than ever because of inflation. Because literally, if your groceries are going, inflation happens normally, but not this fast.
Yeah. And
it's really scary that it's this fast. I predicted that on this podcast
because of the stimmies.
Yes.
Yeah. They're just printing money for all you foods.
Yeah. So sure, be happy with your whatever few $1,000s at the time, but it's gonna get really bad. You're not gonna afford anything with those few $1,000s, and now when you cash that check, the rooster has to come home to roost. So you really have to make more money because your paycheck isn't worth the same anymore. And the easiest 3-step thing to do if money scares you and you don't know how to go about it, the first thing you should do, this is beginner baby steps. You're scared, you don't know what to do, you need more money. You shouldn't just go and start a business because that's risky. The thing you should do is to get a new job. Get the same job but better pay. Okay. So you should ask for a raise, you should try to go to another company and
leave.
Yeah, basically, because that's the easiest thing you can do to get paid more, which is why a lot of people are threatening to strike, and or just when they're going to find a new job, they're just pay me this X amount, this ridiculous amount, and then if they're not willing to give that to you, then go to the next place that's looking for new people to hire, because now you have the leverage. They're lacking in employees. You have all the power. That has never really been the case the past few years. So that's the easiest thing. The second thing is to start a side hustle, but I'm not specifically talking start your own company, start a business, whatever. I'm talking about a side hustle that can give you money pretty much immediately.
Is there such a thing, Janet Chan?
There's many things. Dave Ramsey always likes to say do lawn mowing. Because
I mean, that's not sexy, but I guess
it's not. They're never sexy, but they pay a lot. Because apparently, he was saying, a lot of people who are, let's say 14, 15, 16, whatever, a lot of people won't hire them, but they can start a lawn mowing business and get paid a lot more than you would get paid at a Starbucks. Especially if you get all your friends to help you and figure out the whole business side of it. But then another really, really, really easy way to do this actually is to start a reselling business. Start flipping things on eBay or something like that. So Gary Vee talks about this all the time, and I didn't really believe him until I tried it, and then I was like,
reselling stuff?
He's right.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You start with the things you own. So sell things you don't need anymore that you think are valuable. And
wait, for sure. If you work at DreamWorks or Disney, sell all of that swag they give you. Oh my god, people go gaga for that.
I don't know why.
And it's like valueless too.
Yeah.
So people can like impose their own value. It just gets crazy.
Yeah, so like I purged all my animation stuff for a pretty penny. And it was kind of sweet because it wasn't worth anything, literally, to me or anyone in LA. But like literally, I sold like a sticker for like $5 or more than that actually.
That was given to you for free.
Yeah,
from
it
the
was
studios.
like $8. So it was like a how big is like a 2-inch sticker, and I was like, dang, the weird people buy for no reason, and like to me it's valueless. But like I sold everything. And the stuff we had left over, we're trying to sell. Because we were like, oh, for sentimental value or whatever. But now I'm like, no, just sell it all. And yeah, stuff like that. It turns a profit really, really, really quickly. And that's how you can get really easy money really fast. But there are people who have like turned this into their livelihoods.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of money just on flipping shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So like you heard of people flipping like baseball cards.
Yeah, you told me like we want to buy a house, but then it's up in the air whether or not we're gonna strike or not. Mm-hmm. And I was like worried because like if I don't have a job, it's gonna be hard to buy a house. Because like we're obviously like we're doing the whole we're gonna move to somewhere else. We already know, but we're not gonna tell you yet. But like we're trying to obviously gonna buy a new place, and I'm thinking like I can't buy a new place without a job. And you were telling me like if you resell shit on eBay and you turn profits, that could be enough for you. Or the lawn mowing shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Like there are.
It's like wow, that's all it takes. I don't have to have like a white collar job.
No,
you know?
You just need to prove like income. But yeah, like to make ends meet. Like literally, if you need like rent money, just like sell all your stuff on eBay. Like it's so like I was so shocked how easy it is to make like a few $1,000s. I was like, wow. Literally, I could like if I really wanted to, I feel like I could become a really good eBay reseller. I would just troll all the estate sales, and then it'd be over. But I have to work hard and become a content creator. And then so after you start your side hustle, and you start, making a lot of money, the key is not to just save it all. You need to start owning things, owning assets.
Why is saving it a bad idea?
Because with inflation, that money, like let's say you have like $1,000 in your bank account, that $1,000 next week probably can't buy you the same amount of things. But if you invest it in something that increases in value with the rate of inflation, hopefully, you can probably buy the same amount of things, at least.
So like action figures and comics?
Yes.
Or no?
I mean, those are very tricky. We started selling our like art book collection. It's really interesting which ones retained and actually increased in value and which ones didn't.
I know whose art is valuable in the art community. And guess what? It's not really the animation people.
No, not at all. Not at all.
God damn, dude.
It's fascinating. So like
I suggest you do it for yourself and you find out who makes money on the eBay and who doesn't.
Yeah. The art and that kind of stuff, don't do that. Like it's risky, and unless you're good at it, like you're probably gonna lose money.
The obvious things, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the golds and the silvers.
Oh yeah.
And then if you're young, that's for if you're a boomer.
Yeah.
If you're young, you do the digital,
like
you do the Bitcoin
yeah.
and the thingy.
But the number one easiest thing to do is real estate.
I really think it's easy.
Yeah.
I think when you had your whole NFT Bitcoin phase, and then we were flipping stuff on eBay, I was like, oh, this shit's all right. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get gold one day, but or silver or whatever. But when you said that it just takes $10,000 for a down payment, and then you have property, and you can rent that shit out or whatever the f- you want to do with it, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Even if you don't have $10,000, you can get started at zero. So like you can become a property manager or like an Airbnb manager.
Oh, get your feet wet with
Yeah.
with being a real estate type of person.
Apparently there is a lot of money managing Airbnbs. Like, let's say you don't even own real estate, but you need extra change, again, like starting a side hustle.
And what is managing an Airbnb is, it's just like making sure that the workers make sure it's clean and all that stuff.
Make sure everything's like accounted for.
Why don't you just quit your animation job and do that shit?
Literally, it doesn't seem that hard compared to like a lot of other
You could
jobs.
quit your animation job, become an Airbnb manager, and then work on your dream project on the side.
Some people make $25,000 a month just
That's
doing
like
that.
Animation people could never dream to make that much money.
No,
in a month.
So real estate is like the number one thing that can make you a lot of money really fast.
Oh, and it's so hot right now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you only knew
That's-
on Zillow, and you realize how much, like the property that, like, because we remember, like we bought this place a while, like 3 years ago.
Yes.
And then the prices now are insane. They're insane.
We got kind of lucky because we didn't realize the area we bought into was going to blow up like this. Partly because, I mean, we got lucky because we were working in entertainment, that we would have wanted to work in this wanted to live in this area because
It's close to work.
it's close to work. That's the only reason. It's
Why we
close
got
to
you.
work, but like suburban enough where it doesn't feel like we live in a work town.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah. And because of that, this place is blowing up because I feel like a lot of other like Hollywood people want to live in this area as well, driving like the prices up.
Well, I'm just saying, like property, like is really high altogether.
Yeah.
So if you had a house in one of these big cities and you sold it and you moved to fucking like rural Texas, you'd live like a fucking king, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can retire basically. Like there's a point where like if you had invested in property here at any cost necessary, literally like a few years ago, you probably could sell and retire if you were smart and like start an eBay reselling business or something. But also like Bitcoin. I started
Let's talk about Bitcoin for a second.
I started investing in Bitcoin, and like I think it's going to the moon. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
What defined going to the moon?
Like people are expecting it to double
Whoa.
by like next year.
Whoa.
Yeah, or like a few years from
And
now.
that's just that trend's gonna keep going upwards for a while.
Yeah, because what I've noticed, and this is like, as someone who I don't know that much about cryptocurrency, but what I have noticed is like people buy into Bitcoin because they're scared of inflation. It's basically like you want
It's insurance for inflation.
Yeah.
But then, buying property and buying gold is kind of too.
Yeah, but
It's like the young person's, it's like, like how everyone's doing it.
And it's more risky because it's less known. There's less history on it. But in my opinion, like it's a pretty good hedge against inflation. Because like the amount it has increased for the amount of money I put in, I wish I put in more.
Should have bought that dip, Janet.
Like everyone says this. Everyone says they wish they bought the dip because they would be millionaires by now. And I was just like, yeah. I mean, I don't have enough money to invest into it to become a millionaire. But I was like, interesting that like, I'm happy I made money. I'm happy I made some money.
You're still making money.
Yeah.
But you wish you could make more money.
I could, yeah. Because I'm just like, oh God.
Oh,
if
man,
only I just,
what if?
if only I just trusted my gut instincts. All of you who took my advice and invested in Bitcoin, which I bet is none of you, you would be millionaires by now. But, you didn't. So you lost out on, making money. But I didn't. The video that we are recommending today is this rant video titled Rant Video Young People Are Screwed by Alpha Investments.
That's sort of like the impetus for this podcast, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. We wanted to talk about it, but at the end of the day,
He does it 1 million times better than we can.
He has a lot more statistics than I cared to pull up or whatever. So like
the research, yeah.
That was a really fascinating video. I agree with a lot. It's a lot that I kind of was predicting, and he actually went even further than what I had thought about, and I think he's right on a lot of stuff, especially like the stuff on about how automation is going to replace all of you. Make sure to like, subscribe, jingle all our bells and buttons. Check out these other episodes to binge the entire podcast.